I have some very good news today because the rarest item in Assassin's Creed Odyssey is about to return very soon. If you were following this channel for a longer period of time, you would already know that Auxesias, the Spawn of Chaos, is a weekly mercenary and he is dropping the Auxesias Helm of Darkness, which makes you a completely invincible killing machine, and we are finally approaching the only date in 2022 when you can actually collect this item. In this video I will show you exactly why it is so special, how to get it and what you can do with it in a build. Auxesias Helm of Darkness has 30% melee resistance on helmet, which makes it an incredibly powerful unique item. There's only one other unique item that also has 30% melee resistance on an irregular spot, which is the Spartan Javelin. And these are the only two epic items which you can use to get 100% melee resistance in epic builds. Of course you can also do that in the Greek Hero set, but the Greek Hero set will deal way less damage. So if you want to make the most overpowered builds and still be completely invincible, then you have to get one of these two items. Normally you can only have melee resistance on your arms, on your belt, and then you can engrave 15% all resistance on your torso. That will give you 75% melee resistance, and when you then add another 15% from your abilities and masteries, you will get 90%. But these items are actually breaking the game and allow you to get 100% melee resistance in any build you want. 100% melee resistance means that you will not take any damage from any melee attack, and this makes you literally invincible. And it's not much of a surprise that both of these items are actually really hard to get. Assassin's Creed Odyssey has many different item types. First of all, there are the regular items, which you can obtain from looting or blacksmith. They contain all the engravings you can also put yourself on your gear. So if you want to know what is possible to engrave on which item type, just go into your inventory, check out what you can engrave on which item types. There are tabs for every item type and you can just check out what is possible on that type. All the things you can engrave yourself will also be available when you loot gear or when you go to the blacksmith. The second category of items are quest rewards, and unlike normal items, they can actually contain some types and engraving which is not possible on that item type. These exceptions are actually fairly limited, and I've made a couple of videos covering all the locations for getting these items. This category also includes famous items as the stolen Iso bracers, which can give you 30% crit chance on bracers, or also the Spartan Javelin with the 30% melee resistance on a melee weapon. So the Spartan Javelin, which is one of our two magic items, is actually not too hard to get because you can just decide to do a New Game Plus and collect it from that quest on any day you want. You can do that with any of the items in the Unique Items Guide, so make sure to check out these videos when you start your next New Game Plus. The third category of rare items are the Olympian Gifts items. And there are 3 items when you pull Olympian Gifts out of a pool of over 700 items which have some unique engravings. The two best of these items are the Bandit Bow with critical damage on a bow, which is a unique trait, and also the Dark Steel Mask, which has 100% crit damage on a helmet. If you get these two items from Olympian Gifts, and that is the only way to get them, you are really lucky. I tried 2 years to get the Bandit Bow just from Olympian Gifts. But that is not the rarest type, because the Auxesias Helm of Darkness is the only unique item which drops from weekly mercenaries. And these weekly mercenaries have a returning scheme of 42 weeks. Which means no matter what you do, you cannot get the Auxesias Helm of Darkness unless you wait for the next 42 weeks until Auxesias, the Spawn of Chaos, the weekly mercenary, returns. There's a total of 21 mercenaries in the game, and every 2 weeks we get a new mercenary from that list, and the weeks in between are filled with ships which have their own returning cycle. And now we are finally approaching the last 2 weeks before Auxesia is actually hitting the Greek lands again. Because Auxesia will return on March the 1st, which will be a Tuesday, and then from March 1st on the whole week you will be able to collect the Auxesias Helm of Darkness. So on March the 1st, when Sargon has reset his inventory, you go to the next contract column and check for the weekly mercenary quest with Auxesias, the Spawn of Chaos. Accept this quest, hunt him down, collect the item, and then you own Auxesias Helm of Darkness. However, if you're missing out on this, you can always calculate the next return date for Auxesias, the Spawn of Chaos. You just have to go to the mercenary list and check which mercenary was the last one who appeared last week, and then you can calculate the weeks you have to wait for the next return of Auxesia. And the next return of Auxesias will likely be not before end of December 2022 or even January 2023. So this makes March the 1st most likely the only date on which you can get Auxesias Helm of Darkness this year. But is Auxesias Helm of Darkness really better than the Spartan Javelin? I would say no, because when you use Auxesias Helm of Darkness, you will lose 50% critical damage on your helmet, and you will also lose the weapon damage on your helmet, except if you play with daggers, because the Auxesias Helm of Darkness already has a permanent 30% damage with daggers on it. So that makes Auxesias Helm of Darkness pretty much the go-to item for a 100% melee resistance dagger build. The Spartan Javelin on the other hand will block one of your melee weapon slot, also making you lose damage with your weapon type, except if you play with spares anyway. But is it really worth the hassle to wait for Auxesias Helm, which also blocks your weapon damage and blocks your critical damage? The answer is no, because you can just get the Spartan Javelin very easily at any day. You don't have to wait a whole year just to get a helmet, which is not really useful or any better at all. So in conclusion, the Auxesias Helm of Darkness is actually way overrated, which is mainly because of its rarity that it occurs only once a year. I would actually only use it myself when I make a dagger build, which is likely never. By the way, this week on February 15th we also get another weekly mercenary that drops a unique item, which is the legendary Sunhead item. Actually there are now 3 ways to get this item. You can get it from Blacksmith Reload, you can also get it for free from the Corfu Island DLC, and now it comes with the mercenary as well. So I think most of you already have this item because you just have played the Corfu DLC, so there's no real need to do this mercenary, but just out of curiosity, this is the only weekly mercenary that actually drops a legendary item. It is not a useful item, but the 99% sunburn resistance are actually reducing the damage when you are burning. So if you are on fire and you would normally take damage, this now takes the double amount of time before you actually receive your damage. Even though it is not useful for any build, you can still use it as a transmog, and it is a really cool looking helmet or headgear. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave me a like, and see you next time.